Hello! Hey, OP Garza from Escape Room Videos, and I wanted to come on and do like a little bit more of a serious video with no space aliens and cursing and weird If you're interested in creating videos on site, I wanted to do sort of a tips and tricks series to help with your production. I'm not going to blow your mind. Like if you're familiar with video production, this isn't going to be like game changing for you, but this is more for people who really have no idea where to start and who just want to up the quality a little bit step by step. I'm going to show you what I like to do and what I like to use, and I'll have some lists and some links on my profile page, and we'll just go from there. Sound fun? Cool. Today we're going to focus on lighting. Lighting is super fun for me because I think our industry affords a lot of creativity. And so I'm just going to show you a few of the things that I use, things that you can pick up that are very accessible and cheap. So, people like cheap, right? So how I'm speaking now is lit. I have a couple of lights next to the camera. I got a light for the background that's just sort of there, you know, to illuminate a little bit. Because this is what it looks like when it's just regular. So a little less dramatic. And if you're into that, that's cool. Like, do it up. If you're doing a talking head video, if you're doing something clean, then this is great. But if you're shooting in your rooms and you want to get that dramatic storytelling going, then house lights like this probably are not your best friend. We would like to light our scene as dramatic as possible without exaggerating the true nature of the room. So I always say when you're shooting your videos inside your room, no matter what you're shooting on, I would try to get it as close to show lighting as you possibly can. And what show lighting is just how the room looks when players come in and play your game. If it's an overly dark room, then you're gonna need to start to fill in the blanks with some accent lighting. When we're shooting in smaller spaces, like some of these escape rooms, we want lights that are nimble and small, and they don't have a big footprint. I don't really use like studio lighting. If you've ever been on like a larger set, you'll know some of the rigs that they use are very big, and that's great. Like that works amazing if you have the time and the budget for all that. And I don't even think for the worst. Most people don't have the budget for that, and you don't really need that. So if you're lighting these smaller spaces, your lighting should be smaller. And I'm going to show you a couple of these lights right now. So stuff like this, okay? So this little light right here is one of my favorite lights. I always have something like this in my case. And it is a newer light. Well, that's what it's called, a newer, that's the brand. I don't know, can you see that? It has a whole bunch of cool settings. It can change colors, and it's rechargeable. So there's also bigger models, lights like this. And these are about 70 bucks on Amazon, and they're very sturdy build quality. These are one of my favorite lights to carry around. I have a few of these, and this is what's sort of lighting me right now. And again, these change colors. There's a variety of brightnesses, and these get very, very bright. Will you ever need that? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But these also change colors, and they do a lot of cool things. And if you ever want to do some cop stuff in your ER, there's a cop mode, and again, these are super cheap, so you should have a drawer full of these. I'm obsessed with these lights. They're like my best friend. When I go on shoots, as you can see from some of my work, it's very dramatically lit, and I do it mostly with all of these. And that could be because I'm just so used to being in dark places for a lot of the haunt work I do. So these work for me. These work for me, and I think they can work for you too. Again, a variety of brands such as this exist, and they all have pretty much solid reviews, so just pick one and try it out. Really cool. Get you some clamps too. This is a small rig clamp, okay? This is also one of my favorite pieces of tool to carry in my camera bag. Because with this there's a thread. You can mount your light to it. You can screw your light in there, and now you have your light, which you can clamp to anywhere. There are unlimited possibility for these. These are just so valuable to have. I don't know what I would do without these things. You can get light bars, and I'm sure people have seen some of the light bars. They look like this too. I'm not going to turn this one on because it's very bright, but this one's a young yo, I don't really know how to say that, but I love these as well because again, they're light, they're portable, they put off a lot of power, and good for tight spaces. Let's just pretend you don't have access to any of that stuff. Fair enough. That's totally fine. I also love natural lighting, so if you are in a space that has a lamp and a light source here, use it. It should feel lived in. Everything that you film should feel lived in. So you can use what you have, whether it be shop lights, cell phone lights, flashlights. You can use flashlights. I've seen it done very dramatically and very wonderfully. The only thing is that dark is fine as long as it's not hindering what you're shooting. And grain is totally fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with a little grain in a picture. There is sort of like this, cutoff of grainy and like pixely. So just be mindful of that when you're shooting your videos. So light placement, that's up to you. Get creative with it. Like I said, there's really no rules to this. If you're doing an interview setup, or if you're doing one of these like talking head things, yeah, you want to be like lit here, and you don't want to have like too hard shadows. But again, sorry, that's subjective as well. Some people like to be very dramatic with their lighting, and maybe some people say that I'm one of them, but I don't know about that. It just depends on the subject, right? So what are you shooting? These lights, they have all sorts of different options for them. So you can shoot with them in your sci-fi room, and then your 1920s detective room, and everything in between. They're very versatile. It's just really about creativity. Also, another thing to keep in mind is don't take away from the natural color of your escape room. So don't blast your orange, amber pyramid escape room with blue and green lights if they don't exist within that space. So I always try to stick with sort of lights that sort of match the vibe. I get dramatic with my lighting here and there, as you can see probably from the montage type clips I'm running now. You can sort of see how I place my lights around a subject. So again, just a few adjustments, like a lighting adjustment, will elevate your video work, taking you from something that's just lit from the top and not very dramatic, to something that's a little bit more cinematic. And that's what we're all going for, right? So if you're making promo material, or if you're making intro videos, just remember what people are used to watching, right? Every single second, people are just bombarded with imagery and video and audio like all day long. So fans care about the quality of the product that they are in love with. That's just the truth. So every little step counts. Up your dramatic lighting, up your audio, up your video quality, and your angles and all that stuff. And so if you're producing your own videos in-house, you should treat that as an opportunity to be as creative as you possibly can in trying to tell your story to customers that you want to come inside your doors. I mean, how cool would it be if you had little mini movies that you put out whenever about your certain games? People would eat that up. That would be so cool. You could run it across your social media. You could have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to the storylines of your rooms that you can have your community be invested in, and local actors can be a part of. Like, this whole world is cinematic, and it should be treated as cinematic, because it is. It's that. Remember, again, you are in a business where you lock people in a room and they pretend to have an adventure. Don't forget that. Okay. I'll see you all next time. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave. I probably already left before, like 100 of the times. I don't know. All right, bye.